can saving to 25% be a financial miser? We, we're 31 and 36, just crossed 200K and are saving 2 times the amount needed without Social Security. However, our investment rate is only 17%. Yet, we constantly argue about money.
Alana didn't give her age, did she?
Yes, she did. 31 and 36.
31, 36.
So that's her and her, 2 spouses.
All right, so I want to reframe this. Okay, you guys say to save 25% of my gross income. Is it possible that I can get to the place where if I'm saving 25% of my gross income, I'm actually being a financial miser? Brian, I love hearing you talk about this because you said that you've had friends and colleagues and acquaintances in your life who had this goal of saving and saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. And even we got the point to where just based on the mathematics alone, they were going to be fine. Like the portfolio was big enough, it was going to grow. They had done all the hard work early on, but they could not take their foot off the gas. And you said, hey, that actually led to like some very real intangible marital problems. And you even in your marriage, you said early on to your wife, you said, hey, if we can kill it in our 20s and we can be so aggressive saving in our 20s and 30s, in our 40s, we're going to give ourselves permission to let off the gas. So you even started on that. So can it be detrimental or can saving 25% past a certain point actually be a negative?
For sure. I mean, but,
yes,
but without a doubt,
agreed.
I mean, the thing is you have to just make sure you do the work to know if you really are at that place. Mm-hmm. Because I always worry.
Because 31, 36 is still pretty young.
It's young, but it's at least not, because I always worry about like my 27 and 28-year-olds who are killing it from an income standpoint, and they start saving and investing, and they go, I think I got enough. I can start dialing it back because I've run the projections, and since I have 25 years or 30 years of compounding growth, I don't need it. And I'm always like, yeah, but you haven't really built your assets up to a critical mass where it's actually your army of dollars is big enough where your future is kind of assured for you. Because here's the problems when you're in your 20s and even 30s is life just has a lot of stuff that's going to come your way. You know, I'm always amazed at people who think they can leave the workforce or make big drastic decisions when they're in their early 30s, even up to 40s or so, is because you don't even know how many kids are you going to have. Are the kids going to have any medical issues? Are you going to have some disability or struggles, you know, that impacts your ability to earn money the way you think you are? There's just life just has a way of humbling you if you're not careful, and you need to plan for those contingencies. But I think that it's definitely one of those things where if y'all are fighting about this all the time, that breaks my heart a little bit, because you know, y'all are financial mutants who are talking about it. I would encourage you to maybe see if you can redirect some of that energy into more of a positive action. Because one of the things, like we did a Making a Millionaire last week where I got a couple and I was like, look, for the next 2 years, really 2 to 3 years, your life might be harder because you've got to make some key decisions in the next 2 to 3 years. And if you can do this and gamify it as a couple and y'all are on the same page with it, your life is going to be changed forever. And I would actually turn this into a process. I mean, Bo and myself both take a full day off of work where we sit down with our spouses, go over our net worth statements, talk about the goals for not only the coming year, but for what are the things we're thinking about 2, 3, 5 years down the road. And I think it's just really helpful to take into account each other's perspective and make sure you're on the same page so that money is a healthy tool in the relationship. Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing that I worry about is, and the example Bo gave is I had he was a dear friend. Now he even does some work with the firm. Where he was having, and you know, we were in a group together, and he shared that his spouse was having a lot of issue, that he was still asking for receipts every time that she went out to eat or did something, to the point that it created marital strife. Mm-hmm. And that's why, you know, and I think about like that couple we met with for Making a Millionaire, for the next 2 years, it makes sense that they ought to track every expense that they have, because they are in a goal together. They're gamifying this. But I'll tell you what, after they reach that goal, maybe you don't have to hang on so tight and track every receipt, because hopefully you've moved from a budgeting plan to a money management plan where that money's automated and automatically going where it needs to. That's the type of stuff that I like couples to have, those open conversations, so it doesn't turn into something that's bubbling under the surface that could just rock you from the core. Because money is obviously one of those core things that people fight about and even leads to divorce. And I just don't want that to be your future, because y'all are already doing so many healthy things. You just need to continue to try to figure out how you facilitate this even better.
You want a hot take here?
Yeah.
For some people, spending money is hard. I know for most Americans, not hard at all. Yeah. But for some people, a lot of the folks in the audience, spending money is hard. You know, earlier on in our marriage, I would always just tell my wife we're broke. We're broke. We got no money. We're broke. And then every year I'll do the net worth statement. She'd see the net worth changing, and she'd be like, wait. We're broke, but that says something different. What's going on here? And so we had this like tension around, I just wanted to save everything and not spend. And she didn't want us to decrease our savings rate. What the conversation that finally like kind of opened it up for us is we finally sat and said, okay, what do you want? What do you want to spend money on? It wasn't that she wanted us to save less than 25%. It was that there were goals that she had that we needed to be on the same page about. So I said, okay, if we're going to spend money, what do we need to spend money on? She's like, oh, well, I really want to travel. I want to go do this. And hey, I'd really like to redo this room in the house. I'd really like to think about doing this expansion. And we just kind of like listed those things out that we wanted to do. And what was amazing is when we listed those things out, we were actually able to still do those without sacrificing our savings goals. I think that a lot of times spouses think it has to be either or. Okay, if we're going to do this, then we can't save. Well, if you would just have a very candid conversation on, hey, what are the things we want to do? Oftentimes you find ways to make it work. Okay, yeah, we want to travel, so we're going to travel this year, but since we're doing that, we're not going to do this other thing. And since we're not doing this other thing, we're not going to have to pull down our savings and investing. We can actually stay at the same savings rate and still accomplish those things. It just allows you as a couple to more effectively and efficiently use your dollars for the things that matter and be on the same page about that.
Good communication.
That's it, man.
Hey, and if it's getting to the point where this is really causing strife, y'all go talk to somebody. I mean, I'm very transparent that, I've been married close to 30 years now. There's moments in your marriage where maybe you two, it's just not healthy the way things are you're communicating with each other, because it is leading to fights and stuff. It's amazing what bringing a third party in to kind of something you say, your spouse might hear, even though you keep saying it over and over, but bringing that third party sometimes can help break the log jam. And then you also, the other side of the coin is you might hear something that you're like, oh, yeah.
I should have heard that.
That, and I probably I resemble that. I probably need to take that to heart.